Hi guys, welcome to Software Test Lab. This is JMR. Today we will look at what is Swagger documentation. So to do so, what I have done is I created a local server on my laptop. I created a couple of API calls and I've used the and also I have created the Swagger documentation. So let's imagine you join a company and once you are inside the company, so first thing they will say is okay, here is the link to the Swagger documentation. Go and have a look at those API calls. So basically, if in that scenario, what you're going to do, okay, once you open the link, then you will see a list of API calls. Now, how to read these API calls? We'll go through them today. So basically, if you see here, once I have opened this API docs, which has basically the Swagger documentation, and once I opened it, there are a couple of there are quite a few like get post. Then there is another get call, put call, delete call. So like that, we have several API calls. Now, basically, it has a schema. So schema is the one which is telling us like what is inside the API call. If we go inside these ones and see, it says it has an id, that is a user id. It's in a form of an integer, name which is a string, email address, that's a string. But actually in real world, if you further look at it, there would be subsets. Basically we call them as objects. There would be several objects inside each top level object. So there would be quite a few key values inside each of them. Now once we know like what is there inside these ones, so based on the api call, we expect the results. For example, if a user's API call is there, like for example, let's go to this one, the get call. So basically here what we are saying is get the users. So if we open it up and if we go inside it, usually again, once you are inside a company, there is an authentication. So you need to have some authentication, but as I've created just in the local, you're not seeing them. Now, okay, I think this is coming in the middle. So somehow I have to push it to the bottom. Okay. Okay. Now, so once we are here, what we are saying is try it out. There is an option to try it out. It's similar to Postman where you put a get call and you try it out. Similar to that one. If you say try it out, then it gives you this option like execute. Once you execute, then it comes back with the response and see the request URL is that one. And once we run it, it went to the server and it got the successful response. 200 means successful response. And so basically it got id to name and the email address. So that's what we were expecting in the schema too. It needs to have the id, name and email. Those three things have been displayed to us. So using this schema documentation, we can verify whether a test whether an api call has successfully responded, I mean got the results from the server. So that's that get call. And here you also see, I think somewhere we saw a call, response body. Okay, call. So either you can take this into a copy this into your command prompt and run from there. It basically you will get the response. And see here in the header, it's accept application JSON. So that means we are doing a get call with that endpoint, and we are also passing one of the headers here, which is application JSON. So once we send this request to the server, from the server, basically we are getting the response like that. And response headers, if there are any headers associated with it, as you see here, the headers will also come along with it. So basically using this Swagger documentation, you can also test the API calls. So let's imagine a developer has made a change to an API call or new API calls have been developed. Then in that scenario, you come to the Swagger documentation. Once they say it's all being deployed into a test environment, then basically you come to that particular environment and you can check the Swagger documentation. So we looked at the get call. The next one is the post call. Post is all about submitting some new data to the server. So in this scenario, what we are trying to do is, let's click on try it out. So we are basically creating a new user. We are saying the ID is that, name is that, email is there, and then we click on execute. So basically we send all those requests. So basically we have sent, that is the endpoint. Those are the headers we have sent along with it. And this is the body of that post call. We sent all those things and we got a response 201. That means whatever we have sent it, it has successfully stored inside the database. So then the response body, if you see here, is saying like, okay, you asked us to create that one, so we have created it. So don't worry about the numbers you would see here, 1 and US 2. That is because of the test data itself. So, but in real world, they should be 1 means 1 only. Okay, let's imagine we want to create a new request, and here we want to create some user 3, and then we want to create, and let's leave the name and email address as is and click on execute. Then when we come back to the response, so we are seeing that one. See, in the response body, we see that ID equal to 3. That is the new user who has been created just now. So that's how we check those post calls. Okay. Now we looked at how the get call works, how the post call works. Now we want to see how the put call works. So let's open this one. And here we want to update this ID of the user to 3. So we put it as 3. We update here, for example, as 3. And then we execute it. So now the user will be updated to that one. So basically it's saying ID equal to 3, name that one, blah, blah, blah. So that's how we can update an user details uh, using the put call. Now, even with the put call also, we should see a response. In this case, we are seeing 200. So that means we got the successful response from the server. Now, when it comes to the delete, usually we don't touch delete. Delete is not touched by us. But if you are working on an API which has this delete functionality, and you want to delete a particular user, so basically let's open this one, and you are saying, okay, I want to delete this new user 3, for example. So you enter that user ID who you want to delete and click on execute, and then see user deleted 204. That is the response we got. So that's how you play with this API calls, guys. So Swagger documentation is very helpful because in real time we can test them over here. So that is the benefit of using Swagger documentation. And schema. Main thing is the schema part. This helps you identify the objects inside that API call, and that is basically your source of truth while testing. You should see, oh, okay, if in an API call you're expecting all these 3 of them to be appearing, then you make sure those 3 are appearing, and based on it you will be checking the same in the request or the response. Hope you like this video, and if you have any questions, please comment. I'll answer them in our WhatsApp group. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye for now.